Da, 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 da. Whoo! Hey! Okay, so part two of the cooking show is happening right now. This is 4 cups. 4 cups of flour. You know, put it in a bowl. Keep your flour bag nearby in case you need a little more to put in if your bread dough feels kind of wet and goopy. So I've put away the cats. I've washed my hands. Remember how to wash your hands? This way, this way, this way, this way. Wrist, 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 and then do it again, and you are sterile. The cats have been, one's in the bedroom, Georgie's in the bedroom, Christoph's in the laundry room, and Mio, is he in here? Mio, Mio. Well, I don't know where he is, but I think he's fine. Okay, here we go. I shall go back to, I just sent an email I wrote and I didn't send it earlier. Oy, oy, oy. What has become of us? Going into, oh, my phone has not enough storage. Oh, that's a big surprise. Okay, 1 tablespoon of sugar. So get your sugar bag out and put 1 tablespoon in. Roll up your sleeves a little bit. If you have long sleeves, look, you don't need to see me really now. 1 tablespoon of sugar. Oh, 1 tablespoon of sugar. Make it up to the top. You can have a little space, but 1 tablespoon of sugar. 1 teaspoon, that's the one. 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of salt in my bowl. That goes in there. You see that? 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So remember this stuff. Baking soda, baking soda. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Chuck that in there. All right, so put that stuff to the side. What I do is I take a fork. See, just like a normal house fork. And you're going to spin it around until you can imagine in your head that all of those ingredients, the flour, the sugar, and the baking soda, are dispersed completely amongst itself. Think of it this way. If you left all the salt over here and then you started putting in your wet ingredients, you'd have a really bad salty bite. So you need to make sure that it's, scattered amongst the big floury flour. Okay, look. 4 tablespoons of butter. Did you know that butter has measurements already on it? Look at this. So you need 4 tablespoons of butter. This is 1 tablespoon, 2, 3, 4. And you can make your cut right there. This is a really dull knife, so I'm going to take it down here, taking it low. And then I'm going to put this butter inside this mixing bowl. And then you're going to do something called cutting in. We're cutting in. Now there is something called the pastry cutter, which kind of has a lot of it's like a rake, and you push it in. We're going to do whoa, it disappeared low. Hello? Is Mio down there, Butter? Hello, Butter. Have you seen my cat? All right, and you cut it, chop, chop, until you know that there's not going to be one ginormous. Be patient with yourself. Let it cut through. You're going to feel those lumps in there of the butter. Do not let that butter do that. Do not let that butter be clumpy. Oh, it would be a delicious 1 bite, though, wouldn't it, with 1 clump of butter in it. Arachota bread is a really simple bread. It doesn't deserve to have 1 person who has a buttery bite. Everybody should suffer equally with just a little bite of butter. There you go. That's why people wear aprons. I don't have an apron on. My apron's in Georgia. But during COVID, do we really care during COVID? Man, as long as your hands are clean, that's what we're looking for. All right, so there are some lumps in here. You can catch them. See that? Catch them and make them behave. But it's not so bad. Okay, I need to go back into my phone. Oh, come on, phone. Why be so difficult pour moi? I'm scrolling. Oh, you can see me scrolling. By the way, this recipe is from a company called, oh, ding, ding, dang, dang, is called simplyrecipes.com. Simplyrecipes.com. They are really good. Okay, I'm going to work the butter into here. And the next thing you have to make, is you have to make buttermilk. Seriously, does anyone have buttermilk in their kitchen? OMG, no. That is like a unicorn. It's like the Friggy unicorn. Nobody has buttermilk. So what do? You make a knockoff buttermilk. And you're going to put 2 cups of milk in here. 1, 2. And you're going to put it in a separate bowl. This is not the bowl with flour. The bowl with flour, the sister bowl is right here. Cousin bowl is here. And you're going to put 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. Now, if you don't have white vinegar, I've heard that you can use lemon juice. So use lemon juice. Try not to put those pips in there, get those seeds out. You don't want to bite seeds. And you're going to put this acidy vinegar inside here. It's not going to bubble because the bubbles only happen with the vinegar and the baking soda. But we're going to kind of get that ready like that. In the meantime, oh, this is what I'm trying to do. That's good. It's a very good color. So I'm not that impressive when I'm cooking, but I am cooking. Now this egg, this mysterious egg, I think what I have to do with this is an Amish egg. Here in Pennsylvania, you can walk to where the Irish people, okay, I said Irish people, Amish people have, one woman has 100 chickens, and she said you can always come to our farm. So it's about a 4 or 5 mile round trip walk. But think of it. 100 chickens on her Amish farm waiting to have their lovely egg taken up and brought to my house to show you. All right, so you know how to crack an egg, right? Hey, Beau, we've cracked eggs before. Let's see if we can show people how to do this. Take something that has kind of a sharp edge because you got to give the egg a whack. Don't be fearful. Crack that egg. See how if you have a sharp edge, you'll make a sharp cut. Put your thumbs in and just kind of do this quickly. It's okay if the yolk breaks because we're not going to need the yolk. I'm actually getting a clean fork, and you're going to stir up the eggies. Stir up those eggies real good. All right, good. You kind of want all the white part and the yolk to be distributed. Okay, so now it's time to start incorporating all of these wet ingredients. These are called dry ingredients. These are your wet ingredients. This is the milk with the vinegar in it. Now there's a trick with that because there's more milk in vinegar than what you actually need. So I'll teach you how to measure that out in a second. So a large egg beaten says, with your clean fingers, work that all up. Yeah. Add a well. Now when it says add a well, you literally make like a well. You can make it with your hands. I'm just going to make it. A well is kind of like a little water well, like a Grimm's fairy tale water well. Yeah. Don't fall in the well, but you can put your egg in the well. It says in the center, put your beaten egg and the buttermilk with a wooden spoon. Why a wooden spoon? I have a magical wooden spoon. I really like it. It's hard to explain, but I think there's some ingredients in here that do not want to be mixed in with metal. So don't worry about it too much. But if you can do this, right, use a wooden spoon. But you could use a fork. You could use your hands. You'll figure it out. Okay, so it says you need 1 3/4. Repeat. 1 3/4. So 1 cup. So Beau, get your bowl. Oh, some egg went in there. We're not going to be purists here. All right. So there's like, can you see this? This is 1 cup, and it goes in the well. Trust me, it's in the well. I wouldn't lie about putting something in the well. And then 3/4. I just spilled the milk. I spilled the milk on my computer. One doesn't worry during COVID about too much, but oh, okay. Stay calm. Okay, we want 3/4 of a cup. There's a marking in here somewhere. Just use one that says 3/4, or just do what I'm doing and get it up to the top like that. Now I have this very challenging looking dough. Now it's already bubbling because there's vinegar in the milk and it's inside here. This is the tricky part. Trust me on this. You have to move fast because you're going to lose your pop. The vinegar and the baking soda have pop. They're popping in there now. Oh, you can see those bubbles. You see those beautiful bubbles. So you don't want to lose the action of that. We don't use yeast with this because, as we already went through, you don't need yeast with the soda bread. This is going to come together pretty well. Now I have a saying, it's called, I think it's an original Carla Bloom saying called, dough always knows when you're nervous. It's true. If you make a dough and it makes you nervous, the dough gets less and less helpful for you. So work with authority with your bread. Get it together like this until you can take this away. You don't need this anymore because it's done its job. And then use your hands, kind of scoop from the bottom up, make that flour on the bottom behave, and then you can do like a little punching action. If you feel some lumps of butter in there, just make them behave, push them in, and just keep moving this dough. This is called kneading the dough. So I think all breads I've ever made have kneading to it. See, it's starting to form a ball that's behaving itself. And you don't want to over knead it. Does that make sense? You want to knead it lightly and form a ball. Now, if you like raisins and you have them, you can put some raisins in here or currants. But to be honest, look, this is just supposed to be a plain old, hey, thanks for visiting. Hey, look at there. Thanks for visiting me. Here is a bread. Okay, that's a little too puffy for me. A couple more turns in here. You can almost feel this dough trying to raise up. Now what I do, and then here, can you see? Yeah, all right. Take this dough, put it in the middle of this. Right, and then like that. Yeah, is that pretty? That's so pretty. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a dull knife and you're going to score it. You're going to put a cross right in the middle of it. Don't push it too hard because you'll deflate it. But see how you can get like a little cross in there? And that's going to help it split when it's cooking as it rises in the oven. And that is it. That is literally the bread. Take your doughy hands and put this in the oven. Look what I'm doing. Put it in the magical oven. And then set your timer for a time that I don't remember, but I think is, check it in 20 minutes. And if it's brown and crispy up top, your bread is done. But have your mom help you take it out, and then you can, just make a third video. Au revoir pour maintenant. Je suis ici pour vous. Au revoir.